A huge shout out to the overthinkers. An overthinker. He watches the show.
Overthinkers, shout out Buffet too.
All of Buffet too. This is Parker. Yeah. Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Tando. Pela. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamela ubuchopho ngeke buphume buyakhula kho yazini as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
Okay. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is Mokwena. I am your host. And this show, I know I've been missing, but this show is usually on every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then, of course, when we have watch-alongs of the big three, we are also here. Apologies, guys, for being missing for the past few days. But I have been cooking, and it's something that we're going to see very soon coming out. At a very interesting thing that happened yesterday. But in any case, guys, it's a very interactive show. Remember, this show is about you. It's not about me, it's about you. And I need you guys to jump in and lend your voice to the show for whatever it is that we're going to be speaking about on the day. And you do that on TikTok by following me while I'm live and then clicking on the button at the bottom of your screen that says multi-guest. Multi-guest, bottom of the screen. It's got a blue figure hugging a pink figure. You click on it, I let you in, and then we can have a discussion about whatever it is that we're going to be speaking about today. Also, Kupali touching screen. Guys, tap the screen. We're trying to get as many likes as we can. It helps with the ranking. Kupari gift man. Kalibona lifari pedi man. The rose li di train li di tau. Lenna kya kopa. If you could please send some gifts as well that way. How are you doing, Letid? Welcome. Siana, guys. So, because the show's not going to be on tomorrow, and because Friday is the penultimate games of this semi-final, we are going to be speaking about a preview of what's going to be happening in the matches that are coming up. Of course, our teams are in Egypt. Mamelodi Sundowns is going to be facing Ahly, and then of course Pirates is going to be facing Pyramids after 0-0s in the first leg. So I want to find out from you guys, how do you feel about where your teams are? I want to know what are the different things that might happen if Caruso loses to Ahly. Is it over for him, seeing as there's no other trophies in the bag, maybe outside of the league? Where does Jose rank when we talk about him and the greatest PSL coaches? How are we going to approach the game? Is it Mahopa Mabasa? Are you going to bring in Tembazani? There's so many things that I want to speak to you about. But remember, the whole thing runs off of a panel system where I'm going to let 5 people in and everybody's going to get 5 minutes to tell me exactly what they think about the game, and we'll go from there. So can we please respect each other? Can we please respect each other when you come on? 2 minutes to tell me what you're thinking. 3 minutes, just let me ask you some questions. Then we can let in the next people that want to jump in. So let me open up multi-guest and we'll go from there. The first place that we're going to be starting, guys, is going to be with Orlando Pirates versus Pyramids. That is where we're going to jump in. So if you are requesting, please request for Pirates and we'll take it from there. No, skawara man, bongano skawara. All I'll say is that Kolinja came in Kulbana. So that's going to be clue enough for what's going to be coming. Hansel, I'm not a baddie. Why can't I be a baddie, Lin Naman? Ling Rumeledi Tau, how? Heban, let's already tau mona, Ali Rumeli Kamo. Okay, so we're going to be speaking Pirates versus Pyramids. Remember, if you come in, it's Pirates versus Pyramids. Feel free to request. Everybody gets 5 minutes, and we're going to go from there. Chiefs yang msian. Ziawa Friday, we're now about Kenya Chiefs. Don't worry, our African adventure is next year. Requalify, Redala Confed, it's fine. Let me go to Mpopo. Welcome to the show. How are you? Man, how are you doing, my brother?
I'm good.
Okay, so we've got this game in front of us. Orlando Pirates versus Pyramids. How do you feel about the game? What are you looking forward to? And how do you see the fixture panning out?
I'm seeing it being an open game, but I feel like I think we'll go back to a 5 when we play away.
Yeah.
because I
Can you afford to go to a 5, man? Can you afford to go to a 5? Don't you need to go out there and attack?
can afford. I think we're going. I don't think so. I don't think so because I think we'll be wanting to score one goal, consolidate the game to the final, and then Simland. From my perspective, because you afford to attack them that much, knowing very well that we might get caught. Yeah, I think we are going to go into very cautiously, but due to the fact that the last time we were in the semi-final actually drew an away game in 2013 that was drawn a scoreline of 1-1. So I think we do fairly have an advantage. We'll need to be clinical on the day.
Can I ask you then, Makgopa or Mabasa? Where are we going with that one?
Makgopa.
Oh, Selebata Makgopa Ldinho.
I was not. I understood where the coach came from when he started Mabasa in the last game.
Yeah.
But second half we really needed a Makgopa because what Makgopa does and people need to understand Makgopa, when Makgopa plays, we are sure that Rile will have his best game. We are sure that Unkota will have those spaces to run into. We are definitely sure that even Utito would have his best games. But now when you're putting in a Mabasa, he cuts those lines where these guys are going to run to because he stays mostly in the box. But I feel like on Saturday, he was also late a couple of times. We know him to be a sniper and to be there in the box, but he was late.
Are you worried at all about Pirates' attack? Because I mean, it hasn't been flowing as we normally like it. Do you think that that's that's on purpose, or is there a problem up front?
I think, but I've uttered these words even before. Like, I feel like our players when it arrived at a stage whereby they lost form, I feel like so many players in our front line actually lost a little bit of form because I feel like Urile is not the same anymore because he's being tracked more.
Yeah.
Unakunja and Tito just came back from an injury. Unakunja Unkota, he's been a little bit on and off, and it's quite challenging when maybe 80% of your front line is not on form. You can't really do anything about that. But on the day, I think we are coming back with this win.
Finally, just for the last minute, does Jose need to win the Champions League in order to be considered one of the PSL's greatest coaches? Or what is it? I think I think currently the stats have spoken. I think we have played like 42 games and won 30 and lost 5 and won 7. So irregardless, from my perspective, even if he doesn't win the Champions League, I feel like for me he's the greatest Pirates coach we've ever had at this moment in time. Okay. I'm going to throw that question to the comments as well. Guys, does Jose Rivero need to win the Champions League in order to be regarded as one of the PSL's greatest coaches? Remember, Ted Dimitri, Gordon Egerson, Gavin, Pitso, rulani, can he find himself there? Let me bring in Bongs. Bongs, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, Oti.
Bongs, ke batla o gym man. Phela next year Africa. Ke batla o gym, o practice ona jwanong, o reke laser, o reke di smoke bombs, re ready.
Ha ba ka reka di player ga pele. Ha ba reke di player ga bebo.
Bongs, o rinka game ya Pyramids le Pirates second leg. How do you feel about it?
No. Since Kiboni first leg, it's going to be a tough game for Pirates. I don't know how Pirates did survive the first leg. Because now second leg is when because if they don't score first and Pyramids score, then decide to defend, it's going to be hard for Pirates to score because they were not taking their chances in the first league.
So then, do you think that Pirates should lean into Tabaea defensive defende, or do you think that Pirates should also make it an open game and maybe trust their forward players?
If Baba open, you know how Pyramids are, they are dangerous. So if they become open, it's going to let Pyramids come to them, and then Lebona, but le problem because now they've been opened up now.
So what do you think is going to happen in this game? What's your prediction? How do you think it's going to play out?
Unless if Pirates decide they score early and try to defend, and try to defend that one goal lead, they'll go to the final. That's the only option they can do. Defend, score early, then try and defend.
So then in scoring, are we looking at Mahopaldinho? Are we looking at Umabas?
I think how that Benyama Ngopa le Mabasa. I think Bakutelo combination ya Mabasa Rele Litito. It used to work in the past. Maybe it later again.
Is there maybe a whiff of Saleh?
That's if Saleh available le ba ka kgona ho mo sebedisa le.
Bogzorinka Tabe ya Jose Rivero. Is Jose Rivero one of the greatest coaches in the PSL?
I wouldn't say one of the greatest until I win a league, the Champions League, both at the same time.
Marutori di trophy 5. It could be 6.
I couldn't call MTN 8 a real trophy. It's like a plastic trophy, Leona, because it's easy to win. You just play 4 games and you're done. So Nkase count as a real trophy. Whoever wins it all the time, why for a plastic trophy too?
Who are the best coaches for you in PSL history? If I could ask for maybe 3 or 4.
Number 1 will always be Pitso Mosimane. Number 2 comes Stuart Baxter after trying to win the league against Kaizer Chiefs. I'm not saying that because I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan, can we include, but now Sebedi in the time analyzing in his first stint at Kaizer Chiefs. For Pitso, he created a monster in Mamelodi Sundowns. This is why I hate Sundowns today. It's because of Pitso Mosimane for creating a monster that can be stopped today. So, number 1 yaka Pitso. Pitso will always be number 1.
Okay, number 2 is Stuart Baxter. Number 3 kema.
Oh, number 3 I'd give it to Rulani Mokwena. Because Rulani, we took a lot from Pitso and kept on keeping this monster excited in the Sundowns to still win the league season after season after season. Sundowns today, it can be stopped because of those two. Pitso urutile Rulani, how to keep that monster alive.
Marakosh Mangoba Mobekai.
Mangoba I can consider as a coach until Mangoba is something golden rose. Maybe I top 4. I'll never take Mangoba serious. Mangoba was just a lucky person to go to Sundowns.
Okay. Last minute. Who should be Pirates' next coach?
Pirates' next coach should be someone outside South Africa. I don't trust anyone to take Pirates again. Lemanda Motsepe to take Pirates. He's good at assisting, but Pirates need to get a proper coach if Rivero is leaving. They need a proper coach.
No, okay, no. Thank you, Bogs. In the comments, top 5 coaches, all-time PSL. Can you, PSL era? I know Velile Uzofunuk Fagabo Chulprickle. Top 5 coaches of the PSL era. Take them up.
I wouldn't see.
Yagwazi. Uzawubiza abo Chulprickle abo Eddie Lewis.
Number 4.
Kunzima ezweni abantu babangawina amakhaphu bawabiza ngayo yonke amagama mangaba wawinwanga yibo yonke bahambile abantu bagijima bayodlala icup leplanka le eGqeberha le planka lokugcina impela igoma goma but bakazi ukubiza amakhaphu awinwa amanye amateam ngama plastic cup Azi kunamadoda sikhuluma nje kunamadoda angasebenzi ngenxa yawo ama-plastic cup njalo aphelelwe imisebenzi. So angazi impela ukuthi ezweni sizawuthini ngempela. Ubuhlungu beyinhliziyo siyabazi uvamise ukukhulumisa into ongazimiselanga kuyisho. Kodwa hayi. Sasevikini lephasika sizonixolela uJesu uvukile musimande. Sabazwela nje.
Manje ngitshele mara velile naku pasika indlulile bendlala ngepasika naku next Friday niyadlala ngena lapha eEgypt uthini ngale game yenu nePyramids.
Ilula leyo mntaka baba. Ilula sibuyela ku back 3. Ku back 3 central defenders.
Yeah.
Because whether we like it or not, since we started using it, we have been looking good in defending. See, we managed to go back to the 2 center pairing. We have noticed how Pyramid has exposed our defense, chances that they got.
Yeah.
But if you look at since Sundowns using that 3 defending players, central defense players, our defense were not attacked the same way we were attacked by Pyramids much. We just need to go back to the central defense. I don't know where does the system come from. Yoguti Umbata no Makaule must be a double pivot there. You don't know what's happening. They tend to defend, but and then when you go out, you cannot even counter attack because you'll find Utito trying to come back and join them. So then we don't have stamina and moving forward if you have to go on that counter attack because we'll only have Uri Lane on quarter pumping play, but there's no players assisting them. But if you're going to play 3 central defense, then the release Umbat. Can you please go forward? And try and protect the defense. Can you please do your job? Because I don't see like Umbat. Also, he loses the ball cheaply and I don't know. And in that way, I believe the Musele that was coached by Mr. Pound for Pound, good Chippa United, can do that job easily because he's comfortable also on the ball and technically. Umusele is good as compared to Umbat.
Would you do as Dlamini? Would you do as Dlamini Tito Makaul?
No, Dlamini second half, not away. Because no, he's lazy. Second half, yes. When we need some of the goal in terms of like want to play in terms of passes, then he can come in. But starting the match away with Dlamini, I don't see him like having an impact. But I will go for Utito is good, but Utito must also be restricted the way Hugo Bruce some sevens are gone. Don't squat in. Don't get you the ball said with that energy guy. If you've got Umbata no Makau, tell them to bring the ball to you. Be creative, you're number 10. But then talk to Hamba in a kitchen, Mabu and a Logundo man Bambi.
No, vele ngiyakhona kubona isikhathi ngifuna ukubuza. Futhi wena ngiyazi. Nine history nethu.
Hey, uthini ke mntaka baba?
No, ngifuna ukubuza ukuthi uMakgopa Mabasa ufaka bani kule game?
Hey, you know indaba kaMakgopa no Mabasa. Give me it's simple for it. But sikhuluma ngestriker sikhuluma ngoMabasa. But now how are we always going to crucify Mabasa by Abotito and Abombata not passing him? Because they're always in the center. You'll find that now he's alone there up front. What's the use of those defensive midfielders if our strikers must always come back tired to come and mark the ball? At the same time, we expect them to give us the same energy going forward in terms of counter-attack. That's impossible. That's why today's football is boring, doesn't have goals, because we have turned our strikers into a strikers' job is not to mark for the ball. Can the midfielders please provide the ball inside the box, the striker can score? We can judge by that. No, it's just that we must be fair to other players. Let Umabasa stay in the 18 areas, but Tito must be job creative. Umakau look on he'll be protecting those 3 defenders with Uhot on the left and Fandoen. But if I go no Makau no but at the same time Bashala way 2 foot. No guys, come on. There's no way we will win that way. We need to properly.
I want to ask you for this last minute here. I'm going to give you a minute because I'm 2000 lapha kuma comment man. Number one is Jose Rivero. Does he need the Champions League to be considered one of the best coaches or legendary coach ku PSL? And then who are the legendary coaches?
I think Jose Rivera just need one. If he can get Champions League, he can be regarded as the best. And if things are going his way, sometimes angaba nenhlanhla because na ileague mangabe ingatenga ngisenzekile.
Yeah.
So he might be considered. But if you go to best PSL coaches, number one, Ted Dimitru, second, Gavin Hunt, third, Gordon Nickerson, fourth, Pitso Mosimane, who can I say? I know, no. Angazi ukuthi ngayinika bani.
Okay, for isikhathi kumele ngene ba.
Akunankinga man. We can give it to it, girl. Uzamile naye. Akakufani but yeah. Pitso Mosimane is there. Gavin Hunt is there. Nikhonza uGavin Hunt waqala kuphi ofethu from Hellenic to Thohoyandou to
Moroka Swallows.
Buya ku-Supersport, winning 3 Champions League in a row, go to Vert and win the cup also, qualified for the final of Champions League with MDC players. What's there to argue?
Mara, for time. That's the only argument I have. I want to bring in Wesh. Wesh. Thank you, Baba. Wesh, welcome to the show.
Othi khamba kahle.
Man mina ngimnandi man sibukele nina lapha eEgypt. Wesh uthini ngale game ePirates ne Pyramids?
Hey bro, I feel like already it's an away game. As much as we need to keep it together for those guys not to score, but we also need to make plans to get a goal. You know, if we get a goal, it's more pressure for them. You know, especially because it's an away game.
Yeah.
I would go for that back 3, back 5 kind of vibe.
Okay.
Also just to keep it intact, because we have seen that it works. There is more cover. People are a bit more comfortable. And Kumbuli Pyramid compared to MC Alga, I would say Pyramid did give us time to have a ball on our feet, which is good for the Pirates because they did let us play. We played. Even, the first half of that game, we were promising. We were supposed to score and win that game, to be honest. But obviously it happened the way it happened. But I do have a feeling that the more we do have Ipola Nati as Nyawini, the more we have chances to do something and make something out of it.
Yeah.
I do also agree with you. Already you are playing back 5. Then you have Umakaula, you have 6 people behind the ball. You really do not need a double pivot. It's not going to work. It's limiting for us to this Tito thing. Yazi betuma udlala a central mid.
Yeah.
And you have a person oloken kuduza lana a mover, it gets confusing because people have got roles in the field of play, and I do understand ukuthi Kamgapi probably Lendo Yogutu Tito wants to come back. It's because Makaula is not really good as our central defensive mid. He's not good at starting those plays, playing the game, dictating and everything in between. But it does get confusing because if he does his role with final third, bro, that means we've got the numbers. 4 people with final third, and we can make something. He can take up space. He can read the game. He has many good qualities about him, but he overworks himself by wanting to come back and do all those things with mistakes in between. So I always feel like if he were to do his role, final third, and that's why sometimes some of the number 10s look even more effective than him, because he doesn't want to do his role. Final third, do those spaces, and my almost spaces uber effective, and we find goals, and we find these, and we see, look how smart this guy is, look at that run. But if not, it does become a problem. Already you have got a back 5, you really don't need more.
But Wesh, I want to ask you, how much of it is Tito's fault and how much of it is Jose's fault? Because earlier in the season, we were watching Fukeng almost being played as a 10, sometimes over Tito, sometimes with Tito dropping back. Do you think that in Logun Chincha Lena, does that affect the players going forward? And maybe that's something we're seeing with Tito?
I feel like they gave him that role, and we've allowed for him to be that, and there's nothing we can do. It's a tactic, or for a team, but at some points it does give us a bit of. We could have added numbers. Final third, then him dropping all the way and leaving Abantu be isolated. Do you understand? That is why you even find a little bit of immobility. Yaboma Hopper is even much more considered or than having Umabasa, especially if Umabasa doesn't have enough of support and balls coming to him as a striker boxing. So we let him do that because Bruce, Bruce, when are the basics? He stays with final third and it works. So now it does become a bit of, I don't know. We let him be like that, but if we let him be like that, a team needs to have a number 10 who's gonna do final third.
I'm gonna ask you finally here. Does Jose need a Champions League in order to be considered one of the PSL's greats?
I would love for him to get a Champions League. He's closer to that than anything else, especially that he's about to leave. So I would love for him to get that. And remember, he's also considered as the greatest because of the circumstances. No big names, no budgets at all, and it says something about him as a coach. It's the most cheap. It's the cheap team you could ever find at this moment, because with those youngsters, it's not even much. So he made it work, and that's what we appreciate more. So if he were to get Champions League, that would be nice.
Okay, no, Wesh, thank you so much. I'm gonna jump in before I bring on the next panel. I've just got 2 minutes here. I just want to ask in the comments, please, guys, Tata Scream. If it's your first time watching, can you please like, and can you please follow if it's your first time there on YouTube as well. Remember, if you want to jump onto the panels, we're going to do one more panel, 30-minute panel for Pirates. Then we're going to move into Mamelodi Sundowns. So Mamelodi Sundowns, guys, please get ready as the next panel finishes. Remember, everybody gets 5 minutes. So tepang. Mara kupari gift, guys. Mara concierge, mara le wena unchaetso re aksi pedi. That's why kisari gray, but it's fine. Okay, so we're going to move into the next panel. Still, we're going to stay on Pirates, but I do want to stress there in the comments, please, can we speak about a little bit the top coaches that you think, and how do you feel Pirates must approach this game that they're going to play here, as I get the next panel in here. How do you think Jose Rivero not winning a Champions League, what does that mean for his legacy? How does his legacy look right now? And we could go from there. And there's one person that I want to ask these things. If there's one person I want to ask these things, it has to be PhD. Tammy, welcome to the show, man.
Hi, Shabujwanga Butu Grand.
Ah, man, nake batla o tseba hore jacket ya Pirates o inkile kae, man?
I'm the only one.
Ke batla o rukisa ya Chiefs akere. Le nna ke apare.
In a live the gogo maweni kind of thing.
No, Rona re a Durban. Anyway, tell me, how do you feel about this game that Pirates are going to play versus Pyramids?
No, I feel very excited. Honestly speaking, I was not so positive after our last match. I felt so disappointed. I honestly felt that Orlando Pirates should have took their chances here at home. I was very disappointed. I don't want to tell you a lie. But again, you have to consider the fact that you do get a draw, you get a win or a loss. But we managed to get a draw. And I think somehow we need to remain humble and be grateful that we got a draw. But I had confidence as I was listening to our coach speaking. I gained confidence to say, no, this guy understands the importance of drawing here at home. Because remember, the away goal rule still works. Yeah. And for him to speak the way he spoke, it gave me confidence also that he is thinking of scoring goals even away. And that is important because I lost confidence because I thought Orlando Pirates would go out away for a draw, and something that I wouldn't be happy about. But when I started hearing him talking and stuff, I gained confidence, except the topics that we have of the cameras and stuff. But I had confidence, and I'm so confident now that I think we're going to surprise them. And I think, yes, we're going to play with 3 center backs. Obviously, respecting the opponents, especially when they're at home and relying on a break. I think that would be very important.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I would start with Mabasa and ends with Mahopa, because I think it's not Mahopa or Mabasa's mistake, or it's not up to him. In fact, he cannot pass himself. That's not his strength. He needs to rely on being in the box and stuff. So I think he was let down, to be honest, by his colleagues. It's just unfortunate that we'll look at the final results. We didn't score, we didn't create chances and stuff. But forgetting, like my sister was saying, forgetting the roles that our midfielders and our wingers have to do into supplying him with balls. He's not good dropping. He's not good again. Shifting defenders away from goals. That's not his role. That's not his strength. And it's asking too much. Asking Emma Hopa from Emma Basa. That's unfortunate, and I think we need to understand both their qualities and respect them on those aspects. I think he was let down by the technical team. I think he was let down by his colleagues, and it was just unfortunate. For me, I don't blame him. I think we should start the game with him, and I hope that way, because on that match, Oti, you just need one chance to bury the match. You don't need many chances. You need one chance. You bury the match and you defend and you rely on a break. When they are tired or so, you then introduce a Mahopa. And again, remember, football does not go anyhow. Somehow we can start the match and we can be scored. If we were scored, it's better to introduce a Mahopa while you are losing, rather than to want to come from a game in introducing Emabas. It won't give you anything. So Emahopa, when he comes and you are losing, you can then even add a striker in when you attack. When you strike, to say at least let us have depth in terms of attack, rather than starting with Mahopa and you're not getting goals. After not getting goals, what are you going to do? Because now you need a Mahopa who can also play as that assisting striker. Then you've got a Mabasa who does not run so much and he can still have strength to finish. So I think we have to be open-minded about this, to know that we can be scored, we can score. Our minds need to be ready to understand how do we adopt the game. But I don't think. But
just for this last minute here, but can we accept that? Because, people have been complaining about how Pirates has been playing, or some people have complained about how Sundowns has been playing very conservative, one chance, one win, defend. Do you think that we are ready as South Africa to accept that as a football?
I think for now we should be. But as South Africa, we are not ready, as we know how we play. But for now, since for a long time we haven't competed, or we've never competed even in the history of CAF in this level, to reach the final third. To reach the last 4, having 2 South African teams. It has never happened. I think we can forgive both Sundowns and Pirates for playing this way, for being, because there's too much at stake, OT. There's too much at stake. We cannot risk it. If we need a goal from Sundowns and Orlando Pirates to progress to the second stage, let it be. We cannot afford OT to risk this game. And besides, the Dr. Patrice Motsepe himself has put so much money already. If you were to check the percentages on how much money has been added into CAF, you will then realize how much is at stake here. So that's why even when we fined around $1 million, to show that there's too much money involved here. And if there's too much money, we cannot risk it. Rather, let's win with 1. We cannot be fancy here. There's too much at stake.
No, for time I'm going to jump in. I'm going to make this a topic, a proper topic where we can discuss this properly, because I feel as though this might be the winning football we've been asking for, but we're complaining. But let me go to Chero. Welcome to the show. Chero. I'm a team when Egypt, man. Sundowns and Pirates, mara. Masikhulume nge-Pirates.
bobabili ngeke baze babuye Egypt.
Awangena endabeni straight.
Straight nje. I'm not gonna go around the block, and both of those teams are not coming back.
Bayohlulwa yini ngale? I-Pirates more specifically.
This performance we saw on Saturday last week, it's been coming. We saw this result 4 or 5 games away, because we've been saying this way of playing will not work, because it's not sustainable. It's not us. We don't know how to play this. Sometimes we're supposed to lose.
Yeah.
Pirates were supposed to lose at home. At home. So now you're going away, you're going there to pack the bus. Remember what happened the last time, quarter final. The Pirates were so under pressure, they couldn't go out, they couldn't come out. And this is a semi-final. They will never be able to survive Egypt. Right, I'm not going to talk about Sundowns because this is the Pirates.
But I want to ask you on that point you're making. I know we're saying that, okay, they weren't meant to win and all of that. But isn't that the pattern of the Champions League? The pattern of the Champions League is that most of the teams that win are usually, when you're watching it, are not the teams that are on top. Isn't that a good thing that Pirates and Sundowns are playing this way?
But you must look at who normally wins that way. It's the Northern African teams. That's how they play. If you watch their league, they play like this. See, now, it doesn't come natural to play like this. Okay. We don't know how to. This parking the bus is not our way of playing, OT. They sometimes won a Champions League with attacking football. With pace. With pace. No, with pace. That's no longer malapano until la for no Kamapilas. They were going. They were
attacking. No Tien Mabunda, no Tombokegana, no Tabontete.
Yeah, but those are defensive players. But my point, that's why I'm saying these teams, I'm gonna group them because they've been playing the same way even here in the league. Now you're gonna be playing against guys who are technically good when it comes to defending.
Okay.
So it showed on Saturday. It showed this is not the PSL. These guys, they came here for the draw and they got the draw. They were supposed to win. Now, going away, they'll have to pack the pass now. The issue now is going to be, are this team going to be able to go out? Because they will not be able to defend for 90 minutes against these two teams. So, if I read the last time we complained, we were watching, Omahopa was not when I hold the happy ball for Pirates to get a breather. So that's why I prefer Umawasa. So the Pirates, obviously they're going to be under pressure. They're going to be defending. They must be able to find the outlets. Umawasa can hold the ball and bring the rest of the team forward. But if they take Umahopa, I was to hold the ball. So it's gonna be a poem. Okay, ask you.
No. I want to ask you for this last minute. I'm just looking at the time. I want to ask you for this last minute. Does Jose need to win the Champions League to be considered great, or is 6 trophies not enough to be a legend, or 5 trophies so far?
For me, now he needs to win the Champions League because he's a winning league. A league, but that's how a team is rated, by winning your local league. Yeah. So now he's got a chance to win a Champions League. Then he can be considered. But if he doesn't win, he's going to be just like the rest of the coaches who came and went.
Who's under more pressure in this game? Just as the last question, very quickly, who's under more pressure in this game? Pyramids or Pirates?
The other one is going. No, it's Pyramids because they are playing at home. The Pirates can pack the pass and hope to go to penalties. So Pyramid, they are home. They need to take the initiative and go forward.
Okay.
Yeah, same as Sundowns on the other side. They will sit back. Allah has to come and try and score.
Okay, Jero. No, go on. Finish that sentence.
Yeah. So no, I have nothing else.
Okay. No.
Okay, let me add one thing. This Sundowns guy, if he doesn't win, he's going.
I'm going to get into that. We're going to get into that. But let me bring in Hansel. Hansel, welcome to the show. How are you? The concierge.
I'm good, my brother. Oti, how are you?
Hi man, I'm good. Concierge, kutwa le tshwere di-plane lile kwa ko Egypt man. How do you feel about Pirates' chances that side?
Ntate Mokwena, go no bolela nnete go ya mo go nna, I'm very happy. Firstly, I'll start by saying I'm very happy with how Pirates played at home, right? We did not concede, we did not score. So going there to Cairo, we already have a 1-goal advantage. Once we score one, they must score two. If we score two, they must score three, right?
Yeah.
That's the rule. So for me, the fact that we did not concede at home, it's a goal, right? How I fancy my chances going to Cairo, that's simple. Pirates is coming back. They're gonna be in the final. That's my statement. That's my opening statement in that question. This team Pyramids, they're gonna be under a lot of pressure. If you check how we played at home, it tells you what there were some few adjustments, and there were other tactics that we apply that we usually don't apply when you're playing other teams. And I think in terms of defense, if the coach decides to go back with a back three, usually how we set up, it's supposed to give us a numerical advantage when we attack and when we defend also, because we use wing backs, right? So when you defend, you have 5. When you attack, maybe you might have 5 or 6. And also, I think personally, I would, since people they were talking about their opinions. Also, I would like Mahopa to start.
Okay.
My reasons are, if you check when Mahopa plays, he opens up space for either wings or the incoming attacking midfielder, right? So usually, if Mahopa goes to release side, it opens that space because the defenders usually they go with him, right? So it means Tito or Mbata is free to come in that space, or Nkota might come in that space and Tito goes to Nkota's position, or Van Rooyen might go to that position, right? So for me, how I would say I see Pirates winning, because that team is under a lot of pressure. They're gonna try and drown us maybe in the first 15 to 20 minutes, and then if their plans is not working, they're now gonna try and adjust how they attack us, because you can't attack a team for more than 20 minutes recklessly. You need to also conserve your way of play, looking at how the other team is playing, right? I think, and if you have noticed, Rivero does not play the same team twice and lose. We drew, that was their chance to win, and then they did not win. So basically, and if you check our record this season in the Champions League, we have not, on most of the job, we have done it away. If you have noticed, we've won away and come home and drew.
Especially in Algeria, man. Yeah, ke tseba Algeria na le eng.
Algeria is our second home, Mr. OT. So yeah, I'm very I'm in the high spirits. I'm sure I'm happy. We are gonna win when you go there.
Where does Jose rank for you? All time PSL.
I would say maybe number 3. I would put him maybe in the number 3 spots, just because of the exception of winning the league. If you have won the league, you would have been in the top two. Yeah. If he wins the Champions League, then you'll be my number 1 basically. Yeah, I would put him in the Hunt, being the number 1. Obviously, Hunt has done a lot. Even both Pitso, they came under Hunt. At some point, he even asked Hunt for just to be his assistant to work for free. So it shows the guy had a lot of impact in the South African football fraternity as a whole.
Okay. Now, Concierge, thank you so much. Let me bring in Tandanani. Tandanani, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hola, Mr. Uti.
Unjani, Friday, you were Egypt, man.
I'm too okay, because we've been hearing this song.
Not network. Not
So-
network.
Can
Tandanani,
you
you
hear me
still
now?
with me? Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Yeah.
I'm still with you. Okay. I'm just saying, we've been hearing this song since the beginning of the group stages. Actually, since the beginning of the preliminary rounds, which Orlando Pirates will go home. But at the end of the day, we are still here. We are the only undefeated team in CAF that's remaining. Even the stats, if you look at the stats this season, I think we've played 42 games and we've won 30 games and only lost, I think we've only lost 5. and then the other remaining ones being the draw. So it actually shows you we have a 70% win rate. And then now we look at the Champions League. Champions League, Orlando Pirates has also played the North African teams 3 times away, and
Yeah.
we've won all our away games. We've all won our
So if you can tell me what's making this season different to the others? What's making Pirates so strong this season?
Number one, it's the foundation, the hard work that we've placed in the beginning of the season. If you can look at the type of the football we've been playing in the beginning of season and currently towards the final round of the season, we are playing 2 different styles of football because of
Yeah.
the reason it being like energy depletion and fatigue is starting to kick in. And right now it's terms of who can conserve his energy the most. And if you think about it, Betway started the Betway Premiership started very late, and they had to compress a lot of games in a short space of time, you see. And then people also start to forget about those elements. And then if we look at in the CAF Champions League, we only played a few games where we played the back 5. We've played majority of our games, winning them, like playing our normal mob justice football. It actually shows you that our coach is quite very versatile. And if you can look at this game is quite similar to, do you still remember?
Oh, Tandaran.
The first game we played at home, we drew with Mamelodi Sundowns. Not. Hello?
Go ahead. No, you had just gone for it a little bit.
Oh, we drew with Mamelodi Sundowns, not at home, and then we went away to beat them 3-0. This game actually gives me the same kind of vibe because the coach he was there to actually think about it and actually see the elements. And most people are giving this guy Umayela too much credit because if we look at the game strategically, that guy, he doesn't have a shot on target. Let's begin there. Chances created 0. The only moment where he showed only 2 moments where he showed he was very dangerous. It was the offside goal, the one where CBC fell down. After that, nothing. And then we were too quick to praise him. But at the end of the day, how many chances did he create? Not many. It actually shows you our defense actually did our job did their job very well. The biggest threat that we had on that game was Torre, because if you think about it, he was breaking our midfield yesterday. On Saturday, he was breaking our midfield. Yeah, our midfield could not connect more than 4 touches. So it actually had to Tito had to drop down and actually come and initiate play for the team. And then even the Pyramids coach actually said that himself, that the biggest threat they were facing was Tito. They were afraid of what Tito is capable of doing, his unpredictability. And
sorry to jump in just for the last minute here. Sorry about that. How do you fix the midfield? What would you do to fix that midfield?
The midfield, not much can be. What I could do as an Orlando Pirates coach, I would drop Motaung CAF and bring in Kabelo Dlamini to actually come and help us stabilize the midfield. And then Relay will also help with Makgopa instead, not Mabas. Because if you think about it, when Makgopa plays, our midfielder scores. And he actually helps add a dimension of actually dropping onto the side while the defenders follow him, and space will be available. And if you can think about it, who's this Tito always helps Makgopa to actually apply pressure up front. That's actually another dimension. And another thing most people are forgetting, we are going to play in an almost empty stadium in Cairo against the Pyramids. The laser, also takes away the laser element. And actually it's another bonus for us because that entire pressure is gone. If we score first, they have to score 2 goals. If we score 2 goals, they have to score 3 goals. Actually, it's a blessing in disguise. Those are the elements that we tend to forget as Orlando Pirates fans, because they'll come in thinking they have the game wrapped out, forgetting what we are capable of doing. We've won a lot of away games.
Mara, for time, I'm going to jump in. I want to jump in so I can bring in Uyongi. Yongi.
Sharp.
How are you, my brother?
So, OT.
How are you?
Good, thank you, man.
Tell me about this game, man. People they've got passport stamps, they're going to Egypt. How is it going to go that side?
You know, Mr. OT, the truth will break people's heart. You know that. They can buy passports. They can do whatever they want. I watch both matches, from Sundowns to Orlando Pirates matches. People's hearts are going to be broken.
Yeah.
For me, there's only 3 teams that's going to final. It's Ahly, it's Pyramids, it's Sundowns. Simple, that's all. Straight to the point, Miss OT. There's no playing around. There's no sugarcoating anything now. We're going straight to the final now. Those teams are top 3.
Yeah.
If you don't buy quality, you won't see the final. Simple as that.
So
you
then,
see this
so then,
final, this one, Mr. OT.
but then can I ask you, out of those 3 teams, I'm trying to think now, out of those 3 teams, hasn't Pirates played the most finals, the most games of consequence? Doesn't that count towards Pirates a little bit?
Mr. OT, the history of Champions League. If you finish number 1 in the group stages, there's no chance of you winning, and history will repeat itself again. Ahly number 2, Sundowns number 2, and Pyramids number 2 in the group stages. History will repeat itself. I'm telling you, Mr. OT, you will watch this match. Pirates were nowhere to be seen. You can see this Pyramids team. It's quality from midfield to strikers. Those guys don't play. One-on-one with the goalkeeper, they score. First touch, they trap. Those guys don't play. It's quality. You must open your wallet if you want to play this competition. It's big competition, this one. We don't have time to play here, Mr. OT. I'm telling you.
But Pirates is the only unbeaten team. Doesn't that also count?
They can be unbeaten, but they will lose the most in final match that they're not supposed to lose. They will lose the most in final, the most important match. That's the match they're gonna lose. I'm telling you, Mr. OT.
So if you were to set up Pirates, let's say you are the coach and you wanted to give Pirates the best chance to win, what would you do with that team?
Mr. OT, you watch Pyramids. Mr. OT, Pyramids make chances out of nowhere, Mr. OT. I'm telling you, that Pirates team doesn't have, those guys have strength, skill, depth, everything. Pyramids is a very strong team. I watched that one. I remember back in the time when Sundowns was playing under Rulani. Those guys were very dangerous. Even this Pyramids team, even myself as Sundowns, is going to be like a 50-50 match if I watch that one. These Pyramids guys, they are very, 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 very critical. These guys have experience. Like they mentioned, these are quality players, straight to the point, those guys. Even if you watch the match, Mr. OT, those guys make changes in the 80th minute or the 90th minute. Which team make changes such late like that? It means these guys are confident, and the people they're gonna bring in is people who are gonna make changes in the match itself, Mr. OT. Those guys make late changes. Even Ahly, I saw Ahly make late changes, very, very late changes, to show you that they want to finish up now.
So then, according to you, Pirates loses. What does this do for Jose? What does this say to his legacy? And can he still be considered one of the greatest PSL coaches in the PSL era coaches?
Hey, Mr. OT, you know that I mentioned this thing twice to one of my friends last time. Jose can win all the cups. The most important thing is the league, Mr. Jose. This guy, the guy who won the star for Pirates back in the 1990s, do we still remember him? Do we still consider him as the best coach? But he has the CAF Champions League. People are saying Pitso Mosimane. Pitso has the CAF Champions League and the league.
And
That's
the
why
Super
he's
Cup.
among
CAF Super Cup.
Yeah, and the Super Cup. That's why he's among, to put him on the table to talk about the best coaches. Do you remember the Pirates coach who won the CAF Champions League? These guys don't even consider him in the top 10. But they want to put this Jose in the top 5 or what? Cups doesn't matter, my friend. Cup doesn't matter. How many cups does Chiefs have already in the cabinet? But all those coaches of Chiefs, you want to forget them. That's the most important. You win the league or you win the CAF. Between those two, that's the one you can consider yourself amongst the best coaches you can get, Mr. OT.
For time, I'm going to jump in. Thank you so much to the first two panels, guys. We're going to be moving on now to the Mamelodi Sundowns game. Of course, Mamelodi Sundowns versus Ahly. So please, I'm going to give you some time. The guys in the queue, we are speaking Sundowns. If you're here for Pirates, unfortunately, we've moved on. So please, can we have the Sundowns guys that want to jump in right now? on the point of Jose, I just want to say this before I let people on in. So Coach Jose obviously has the 5 trophies that he's won. He's still in the running for Nedbank Cup, and he's still in the running for Champions League. So that could change everything. But as it stands, when you look at coaches in the league, according to trophies, you have Gavin Hunt, who's got 8 trophies, 4 of those being leagues. Obviously, the 3 with Supersport, 1 with Bidvest. You've got Gordon Igesund, who's got 7 trophies, 4 league titles, 1 top 8, 1 SAA Super 8, and 1 Telkom Knockout. You've got Ted Dimitri, who's got 8, 4 league titles, 1 Bob Safe Super Bowl, the infamous Rothmans Cup, and 2 Coca-Cola Cups. And then you have Pitso Mosimane, who's got 11, 4 league trophies, 1 Super 8, 1 EPSA Cup, 2 Telkom Knockouts, 1 Nedbank Cup, 1 Champions League, and 1 CAF Super Cup. And then there's always somebody who's mentioned, that is Ruud Krol, who's got 3 trophies. Obviously, he was the coach that won the first double treble at Pirates, and then of course he was let go, and then Pirates won the double treble next time. So where does Coach Jose sit amongst some of these coaches, and is the league that important? Anyway, let's move now on to Mamelodi Sundowns. So let me get people in, then we can discuss what's happening here. Guys, tell me in the comments again, who are your top 5 coaches all time, and do you think that winning the league and things like are important? And I just want to know, MK, I can't remember, MK, I think it was a gift. I think that Arsenal shirt was a gift. So let's get ready for the next panel while I get everybody in. Stara, who cares, man?
Who cares, my guy? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares about the league? Who cares?
Stara, Sundowns is in Egypt. How do you feel about that game? We saw the 0-0 at home. I think Ahly would have been happy with that. How do you feel the second game is going to pan out?
Where do I start? Okay. It's fine. I hate Sundowns, but this game, I think they were going to win. They're going to win this game. Reason being, those Egyptians, man, they just play counter football, try to cross the balls, get a header, and get 1 goal, and then they sit back, and then time wasting, all that thing. Mshishi's back, man. We cannot deny that. That's a cream, man. You will see the best of Ribeiro now, because the pressure will be off Ribeiro. Everyone will be focusing on cream de la cream. But that's when you will see that Ribeiro is dangerous now, because no pressure, nothing. He's just playing his ball. Everyone will be defending. And then one other thing is that at the back, Sundowns, man. At the back, I think Mudiba must not play if they are playing. Who's that South American guy? That center back?
Suarez.
Yeah, if they are playing Suarez, definitely they must not play Mudiba, because Suarez is too slow. He cannot cover the left side. Remember, Sundowns does not play with wingers. They always play 4 in the middle. So they must get a solid back 4, and then Ribeiro, Mshishi, and 1 striker, not 2. Either Reynas or Shalulile, not both of them. Then they stand a good chance to win that game. They don't have to do anything.
But before you go, but before you go too far at the back, I still want to ask you a question about the front. You say Creme de la Creme is coming back in. You'll see the best of Ribeiro, but who gets taken out? Who do you put into that front 3, front 4?
Remember, the only reason Ribeiro played number 10 was because Cream was not there. Shikabala was not there. If you can go back and check when Shikabala was in form, Ribeiro was playing towards the left, and then he was playing central, Mshish, and then one side they normally don't have anyone else. Mudiba was going up.
On the left hand side.
In the middle, it was Allende, Obas, and Mokwena, and then in front of them it was Mshishi, and then to the left it was Ribeiro.
To the right, yeah.
So yeah, so they can
right.
they can play they can play with both Shishi and Ribeiro. I know people will say,
but can I say, Ribeiro wasn't having the season of his life from the right-hand side or from that wing position.
no, he
And
was,
this season at 10, he's the top goal scorer in the league. He's been the most important player. Do you think he can go back to a supporting role?
Remember, the reason why we had to step up because now Shikabala was not there. If you can check the games where Pirates was playing with Sundowns, we were all looking at him. Shishi. Ribeiro was causing us a lot of problems every time. That guy, whenever you just put your eyes to somebody else, shows up. So I'm definitely sure they're gonna start playing those 1-2s, no longer those long balls, unnecessary long balls. Sundowns, we know them, they are dangerous if they are having the ball. She's just gonna hold the ball, everyone is gonna come to the party. So the more Sundowns have the ball, the more those Egyptians are gonna get frustrated. That's where Sundowns is dangerous.
For the last minute, I want to ask you, is it over for Caruso if he doesn't get to the final and he doesn't win the Champions League? Does he get another season?
If it was me, even if he wins that, he's still not the best Sundowns coach. He should ask. They had better coaches, my guy. I don't want to lie. That guy always reacts. He does not initiate the game that the game should go this way. No, he waits and then he sees, oh, there's a space, and then he makes changes. You can't always coach like that. It will work on other games, but in other games, definitely it won't work.
No. Hey, for time, who cares, Mar?
Who cares?
Thank you, Skara. Let me bring it Umko. Welcome to the show. How are you?
How's it?
Hi, man. Mina ngimnandi Mko. Ngiyajima. I'm doing research this year because next year, confet ngiyabangena. How do you feel about Sundowns versus Ahly?
It's thingy group. I know we're speaking about Sundowns, but I just want to talk about two South African teams, and I feel like they've got an edge, man. And this is why I think they've got an edge on OT. I know we all understand the issue of the away goal and all that, but these two teams, I think we need to give them credit. They played two of the most toughest teams at home and couldn't allow them to score. That is a huge advantage when OT. It's a huge advantage because this is what happens in a two-legged game that has got away goals. If the first match ends in a draw of 0-0, then for the team that was hosting the first match, they've got 90 minutes of an advantage in the second leg.
Okay.
That is just straight, because now if you played away and you couldn't even score a goal, it doesn't matter what the score was, especially if it's 0-0. If you were away and you couldn't score a goal, but then the second leg you have to play it at home, the away team in the second leg has more advantage, has gained advantage to at least try and do something. Now you've got nothing to do but to make sure that you score and make sure that you defend the away team in the second leg. That is why I feel when OT.
I hear you, Mko. But this is Al Ahly.
Yeah.
They've done this before plenty of times. Does it apply to Al Ahly? This?
It does, and here's why it does apply to Al Ahly. It's because they are playing Mamelodi Sundowns.
Okay.
The Mamelodi Sundowns to Al Ahly is like a boogeyman. Because Mamelodi Sundowns is able to beat Al Ahly convincingly, so they don't have an issue with that. Now, the reason I'm saying Sundowns, especially Mamelodi Sundowns, now that you've spoken about Al Ahly, especially Mamelodi Sundowns, because they are playing against a team that they know they can beat. And Al Ahly couldn't even score a goal in Pretoria. Now, they know very well they know very well that these 90 minutes that we are going to play in Cairo, we have to score and we have to defend these guys, because one goal means they've got two now. We couldn't do anything in Pretoria. Now they are here. what we need, it's more pressure to us. And the job that we have to do as Al Ahly is 2 times way more now, because now this guy is the last game. Remember, the second leg is the last game, is the decider. So if you are not able to contain and make sure that you are able to score and defend these guys, then you are out. That's why I'm saying, as a South Africans, we should be happy that Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates were able to play these 2 toughest teams and manage to make them not even get an away goal in an OT. Their position is way better. And I know Al Ahly and Pyramids know that, because they've got 90 minutes to defend with everything that they have and to try and score and win the game. So the South African teams, all they need to do that, because I know from the first minute, Al Ahly is going to be careful, Pyramids is going to be more careful. But Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns, they just need to score that goal. Just score that 1 goal first. As Mamelodi Sundowns or as Orlando, just score that 1 goal and see what's going to happen. Now you've already opened the gates, because number 1, they are panicking. You've already got the away goal. Now the game is open. They can't maintain their defense anymore, because they are thinking about scoring 2 more goals. Because now that you've scored, they need to score 2 more goals. That's why I'm saying, if you look at it, South African teams have got the advantage.
I want to ask you for the last minute here, Coach Cardoso, what happens if he doesn't win the Champions League?
I don't know why Sanders fans are complaining about Cardoso, especially because this is his first season and he's already playing in the semi-final. What if he wins? What's going to happen? They're going to change their mind about how he plays. Are they still going to fire him? What was Sundowns crying about last season? Was it not the Champions League?
It was.
They were complaining about the Champions League. They were firing everyone because they wanted the Champions League. Now we are in the semi-final. We are saying, Laga Tsamaya, it's fine. Laga winner. We don't even. What exactly do you want?
Okay. Call for time for a chat. Let me bring in Tutuzile. Welcome to the show. You can just unmute and let me just check. I had to mute you guys because I was hearing the background.
Oh, sanibona njani?
Man, ngimnandi man.
Siphile.
Then how do you feel about this game? Sundowns and Ahly.
Nah, I feel like Sundowns is going to win, but it will depend on the approach. How they're going to approach the game. Because currently, Mesbugela is Sundowns, guys. If we're being honest, is Sundowns. Ngifene Pirates, right? And vela ngifuna ukuvuma ukuthi Sundowns, like, it's the biggest team in South Africa and idlala ibhola elimnandi. Kodwa currently Sundowns akusile Sundowns lesiyaziyo. No coach, I think installer ifear to ama-players wethu abo Mokwena, abo Mdawu, abo Ribeiro. He installed more fear. Mengisho ukuthi why fear, because ubafundisa more about the defensive football rather than attacking football. So now, even mongabheka i-first league, for you to put to Opas Mokwena, already uthini elakhle me, I'm scared of it ukuthi ingangibamba ngama-counter, so let me defend. And the Sundowns is not that kind of a team. I-Sundowns defender ngebhola. Awakudingi ukuthi bamake labantu laba. Bona baphethe ibhola, that's how they defend.
Okay.
So now going to Ahly Egypt, I'm scared ukuthi lo coach lo yini into azoyenza. So bona Sundowns lesijwayele Shushine and Piano, or we going to see a defensive Sundowns where we gonna defend sibabambe ngama break. And even though it is funa ukubamba ngama break, abo Ribeiro, we've seen ukuthi these guys, they don't show up la kudingeka khona. And if we're being honest, Ribeiro is more selfish. So me, I would prefer ukuthi kuqale umshishi rather than Ribeiro. Because let's look at like ama goals. Let's look at i-Sundowns yabo Rulani, yaka Pitso. Let's look at ama player njengabo Pitso Shalulile. How many goals Pitso Shalulile scored adlala nabo Neo Mayema, adlala nabo Mshishi? Then compared to Ushalulile now adlala no Ribeiro. and what kind of goals our scorer.
Mm.
So now, let's be honest, I'm a fans of Sundowns are like, hey, Ribeiro deserve a player of the season, is the best player. But this guy is selfish, guys. This guy uzidlalela yena and udlala ngenhliziyo nimbhekeni uRibeiro. If akekho egamini dog, udlala ngenhliziyo lo mjita lo ushesha kwade. And he's not playing for the team, he's playing for himself. If you put Mshishi and Ribeiro, I would prefer ukuthi lo coach lo aqalise uMshishi. I know isikhathi singamshaya, but kill the game first half. Then
what do you say to people that might say that beautiful football and attacking football that Sundowns has been playing hasn't gotten them anything up to this point? Yes, it looks good, Mara. Bapampe ma semi-finals all the time, and maybe you need to start playing some quote-unquote negative football to go win. What would you say to people who come with that?
In terms of issue with Machita, let's remember, if football, it's a game of luck. Sundowns, it wasn't. Sundowns, win if I go semi-finals, we've known they're the best team in Africa. No mabanga win ama cups, but we knew ngesikhathi saka rulani ngesikhathi saka Pitso ukuthi these guys, they are the best team in Africa. Ngelo just game bashota ngeluck. Mina mengeke ngize ngumqoshe uRulani or ngumqoshe uPitso because of the didn't deliver. Mengizoyenza ukuthini? No guys, our time ayikafiki. Sofika isikhathi sethu. But now it's useless ukuthi siwine. So iSundowns uma yiwin iCAF ngale bhola ledlalayo right now. Guys, iSundowns i-backbone, ngijoba ngisho ngifane Pirates. iSundowns i-backbone ye-national team. Right? Now looking at like starting 11 foot. You're looking at the starting 11, okay, I'm a regular lapha sibona uMkwena, sibona uMndawu, sibona uWilliams, sibona uKekana. Now it's four players. 4 players. And Street Sundowns is a backbone in national team, but we only have 4 players who starting 11.
Yeah. For time though, very quickly. Very quickly. Just give me a last statement. Very quickly, 20 seconds.
Okay, so anything you show I mean, Ukado also is not good enough for the Sundowns. And the Sundowns, if you are Ahly, please, ababuyela ku traditional ishusha in piano. Ahly yibhola elisabayo leyo. Le mi bayidlala last Saturday. Ibhola leli Ahly vele Sundowns idlale. It defending, but when Sundowns izodlala ishusha in piano, Ahly will be scared.
Okay. I'm gonna bring in Tiro just for time. Thank you so much. Let me go to Tiro. Tiro, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, man, OT.
What's going on, my brother?
Oh, good, my brother, man.
Tell me what's happening in Cairo with Sundowns, man.
Cairo is going to be interesting, my chief. Cairo is going to be very interesting. I hope amachita vayabonke, amateam vayonke ngeplaying one, but discuss bonke because my situation E1 for sonke nje masiyala. Khona manje maybe ngeke babuye. However, for Sundowns, I think Ukadoso is a bit of a headache now. Uqala ngoRibeiro, uqala ngomshishi. Like it's going to be interesting with attackingly how is he going to go through it because we cannot afford to be as defensive. I think for both teams they cannot afford to be defensive. The West Lalenga corner first leg we can't play again in that way. Must be Cairo. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to take the game to Ahly Sundowns. And it's going to be interesting whether Ukadoso does he believe he's got I'm a player agree that kind of football because if you look at him throughout Champions League, I think njengoba ngisho naye ulokhunjani uRibeiro lapha ku Pirates they are playing very conservative. Quite defensive. I think they're emphasizing more guys, we know you can attack, we know you can hold the ball, you know you've got skill, but if you do not have defensive discipline, then how are we going to ensure or safeguard ama win rate? And that has been, for me, my observation, that has been the game for both Ukadoso and and unfortunately, the same mentality ile Dr. Hugo Bros Bafana. He's almost playing the same type of football. That's why you see these two teams dominating Bafana. It is precisely because of Leo trade that I see. However, it's going to be interesting for Ukado. So angazi, if I lose, now I feel like he might not come back, judging by the way abantu bambona khona.
So wait, so I mean, I just want to know. So you're advising these teams maybe abandon the thing that got them here because we want to see better football. Can't we ask Sundowns to also defend, man? Look for your one chance, take the chance, and then defend the Pirates.
Hey bro, when Mr. OT, this is difficult. This is difficult, because unfortunately, the formula has been working.
Yeah.
So Mainzi, do they go back to factory fault, Slale, Sluze, or Strobega as a defender? Shy 1, 2 nyana, lapho masitholi chances, relax, because unfortunately it has been working.
This is all I'm asking because I hear you guys, Mara.
I think Nakona, it's the entitlement, man. We have got this entitlement, and I don't blame. I'm not blame about. Hey, South African teams have been playing good football, Joe. The name Shushi Patini, Shushan and Piano doesn't. It's not a name of a Toles Khanye, bro.
Mara yenzani
football, bro.
Prendani lena noma nithi yonishushaneni piano yazi onithi ayin nemthethe something man different maybe the name
lo iscope and donor bro eka Hugo Pro sile scope and donor siyashaya siyagawula sihlala phansi sinomkhaba defender all the way scope and donor eka Hugo Pro uyoze ngale sifo lesi angba play mabo coach bethu
marubuye ngamamedal
and guess what le formula le ine medal already angazi ongabelieve le formula uthi Thembini bona le formula le already ine medal so angazi ozothi yena akayithembi le formula what lokunjani bathini unayiphi lokunjani viewpoint which okay if City shushane in piano eka rulani ihlulekile
for time but
Pitso play the same type of football and une trophy so angazi
for time about a champion now I'm gonna brand it myself man ki ayin and mthethe Baronga, welcome to the show. How are you?
Mr. Uti, kunjani put?
Ay man gimnandi man rona the problem tsaka I didn't have the passport it's okay right man.
Yeah, I na remetse di 3 le di 7 le
10
fela. Yeah, ke tsa local.
Okay.
Uthi
o rinka taba ya Sundowns.
Ezophuma between those two ezala ekhaya la. Mina ngizozibuza ekugcineni ukuthi how did you enter the room? Ufike kanjani? How did you enter the room? Kuzomela uchaze ukuthi how did you enter the room?
Yeah.
Understand? Uthi if I were to say ne uyabona iAlahli ukusuke Egypt bazela to play against Sundowns go first leg. They came with one mission to draw against the Sundowns and they got the results that they came here for.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So going forward from here, ukuthi game bazoyiluza ngokuthanda kwabo ngokuthi the only thing they had in mind was to play Sundowns in South Africa and draw the game, and then anything else is izoyibona emuva. They had, remember uthi ukuthi like Al-Ahly is that team edlala a boring kind of a football with Champions League, you understand? And then not to say good like Havana experience, they know what they are doing, those guys. You can beat them up 5-0 or 5-2 during
the group stages,
but once they survive that and go through a knockout, you will learn what like bangene kanjani bafike kanjani la bafike khona. You understand? I'm not wishing good. My wish was to see both teams like Sundowns and Pirates playing into the final CAF. But honestly speaking, they didn't give us that that A game. Yeah, we understand. If we were to look at my results into first leg, we might say good like they have an upper hand going to the first leg, but second leg, but they don't have that. At least they should have, one of them, they should have scored a goal, a single goal. Lana imzansi. Knowing good like nasebaya ngale, and then the pressure is urujusa, you understand? But kwamanje into bengifisa ukuthi izoyenzakala ukuthi like ngibone like both teams ezidlala into le final. I sazoyenzeka uthi one of them will have to make a room. Either i-Pyramids izondlula or iAhly izondlula, but i-Sundowns nento le ne-Pirates, I don't see them playing into the final anymore.
So then, if one of them gets to the final, what are the chances of them winning? Or nakhona?
Oti, I'll wait nento lene. Guti, both teams like have an equal chance if we may put it that way, ne? Sundowns ngoti like they've been playing this competition year in year out. I-Pirates now they have experience, and then i-Pirates ngaynika ngendaba ukuthi like they haven't lost a game like kule season le. When it comes to into the Champions League, you understand? And then i-Sundowns ngaynika ngendaba yento le i-participation yabo year in year out. So ezophumelela ukuya ku final, I can say ukuthi like they stand a better chance 60-70% ukuthi bangayewina, you understand? But nakhona kuzoba nzima uthi it won't be simple, kuzoba nzima ngokuthi like barelaxe kakhulu, like they should have made it like ukuthi play that ugly football, score a goal at home, and then relax go second leg. That's how they should have done won the game. But kwamanje kuzoba nzima blind football. So ngizokudena ngibabuza ukuthi how did you enter the room? Yeah.
And then okay, yeah, no, go on. No, you can go.
No, I wanted to go like lama dates with like local level. So you can ask them.
No, it's fine. I'm looking at the time. You can go for it just to finish this time.
Yeah. I'd like to wish like both teams all the best like second leg yabo, and then kungaluiwa, and then bafocus like kuma plans wabo njengoba like nabo I do believe by now bane plan ukuthi like second leg bangaye wina kanjani. So they must just stick to their own plan and forget about ngondaba ukuthi like iAhly zoza maybe idlala ngendlela ethize or iPyramids idlala ngendlela ethize. Bona they must just stick to their game plan and see ama end results. Mhlambe bangaphumelela sasa.
No, thank you. Barogwa. Thank you to that panel that has gone past. Guys, if you have not followed, click on the follow button. If you have not subscribed on YouTube, click on the subscribe button. If you have not tapped the screen, tap the screen now. Let's see if we can't get to a good 40,000 likes. And then also, man, if you have not sent a gift, please send a gift. Shout out to Itumeleng, Mujofela, Chantel, Papa Khosi, Kodani, Pesihle, Nwasalani. Thank you guys so much for the gifts on that side. We're going to go into the last panel for today. And Kutomari, ki defense force. Yeah, Caruso. Agent, defense force Caruso today. Welcome, my brother.
Hey, shalom, my brother. Shalom to you only.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a shalom night.
Shalom to only you. How are you, man?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm watching you guys.
The previous speaker asked the question, how did you enter the room? We won our league. You should ask Chiefs, how did you enter the Confed Cup room?
We've entered, man.
But you know, back in my school days, I used to be on a debate team, and
I know.
I once and I used to open with the opening which said, I am pregnant. And I used to say, I'm pregnant with the words of wisdom. The doctors couldn't deliver them, so I'm here to deliver them to you. So can I steal that and say, I'm here to deliver wisdom today?
Let's hear it.
I hear the narrative that we are playing Scope and Ronald Hamba Dupreez, what. But I wonder, which kind of Hamba Dupreez are we playing?
Yeah.
Because the stats are telling us that the average ball possession this season is 63.64. Rulani averaged 66.39. That's a 2.9% a decrease.
Yeah.
So which one is Cop and Donor here? In Rulani's first season, he averaged 59.38% ball possession.
Yeah.
So was he playing Hamba Dupriz or Cop and Donor because his ball possession was less? Coach Pitso averaged 55% ball possession. That is the most highest he got. Others
Yeah.
say 40s and 49s. So was he playing Scop and Donor? People shouldn't confuse piano and shoe shine with tiki taka. Ulani was playing tiki taka, not piano and shoe shine. Piano and
Yeah.
shoe shine says keep the ball, but when there's a chance to attack, play Hamba Dupriz. That's our tiki taka. People are saying we're not scoring. Last season in the league, Rwanda scored 52 goals in 30 games. This season, we scored 51 in 23 games. So which team is not scoring? I wonder, but it's fine. Let me go to the game. And by the way, we lost 53 points last season because of useless draws that we conceded. You know, we drew 7 games. Imagine 7 and lost 1. You know, across the board, we lost 39 points. You know, but somehow we should celebrate almost invincible. This season we've lost only 39. So
Yeah.
which one is this one? That we have lost our soul and identity and scope and donor. No, guys, let's be serious. And I heard some people saying Obas played. I think they were from the future. Maybe we'll play next week. I don't know, but they are not there. But quickly in my last 2 minutes OT. For me, I think I'll start with Ribeiro and then bring Uzani in the 45th minute. You remember that sales substitution that we usually make? Usually we bring in sales because he's able to help control the tempo of the game. So I think now we can replace that with Uzani. I think that's the most perfect scenario for us. Otherwise, I'm not worried, OT. But
Okay,
we'll tell on
but I want to ask you. I want to ask you how much of a mental challenge is this for Sundowns? Do you feel as though there's any pressure for this stage of the competition, and maybe versus Al Ahly? Do you think that Sundowns may carry a little bit more pressure, or is different now for Sundowns with Cardoso?
You know, what's interesting, OT, is the one time we played defensive football, we beat a student team 4-1. So I'm not sure if I would mind it in Cairo, to be fair with you. But to your question, what happened to Real Madrid? You know, I think for me, it's written in the stars that the so-called, you know, maybe get knocked out, you know. But for me, I think there's a vibe that I'm getting from Sundowns fans. I think most of them have given up, you know. So I don't know if there's pressure. I think pressure is probably on Ahly. And I don't see what advantage they have in doing 0-0 here, because if you beat them 1-0, they're gonna make sure that the first 2 minutes they score, or the first 10 minutes they score. With 0-0, you don't go that hard because you know what, we still have 0-0, you can still score a chance, you know. So I think maybe that reduces the intensity in the first 10 minutes, unlike the Esperance game, you know. So yeah, man, I think we're good. I don't know which dressing room the coach has lost because he's playing the favorites. Mokwena, Mudau. So I don't know which player he's not playing. You know, and people talk about foreigners in my last 15 seconds. This is the least number of foreigners we have had in 10 years at Sundowns. Thank you.
Hey, I let you go. The debating came back. I go to debate. I'll see you go group like normal. Let me go to Mshiri. Mshiri, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, OT, good on yourself.
Man, I'm good. Mshini, people are in Egypt right now, getting ready for Friday. Yes. How do you feel that game's going to go, Sundowns Al Ahly?
Man, I'm glad the guys made it there safe. You know, obviously just to give them enough time to prepare.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know for me when coming to the game, because I feel like I'm the only person who's having sentiments of confidence that I think Downs should be able to wrap it up. I don't know if it's because I'm a Chiefs fan and I'm not Downs because they are fans, they are too emotional. Maybe that's the problem. But look, guys, I understand the concerns around the factor of having a new coach and this preference of having certain players playing or a certain way. But if it's when you look at like what Agent was saying, I agree with most of the key points that he had to say.
Yeah.
was confused with, I think, an earlier speaker or most of the comments that I've heard throughout the week. Downs still dominates possession. Whether you feel they play too much at the back, but Ahly, if you look at that game, they came with the notion of defending. They were not planning to attack, in my opinion. It's just that now, when you look at the Chiefs game, I think they used that as a model of being able to catch either on transition or capitalize on mistakes.
Yeah.
And look, if you're going to be playing a high line, you are in the opponent's half most of the time, passing, interpassing, trying to combine. I think you are actually going to, make those mistakes. And look, you're playing against a quality side. Ahly is not just another team. Let's be fair. They have quality players here and there. So their style of play, obviously, we that's the kind of thing that we didn't expect. What are they going to play pound for pound? It's the semi-final. It's not a group stage. That's fair.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm confident that Downs can still wrap it up there in Cairo. They've played there many a times. They've played against the same team. I understand the stage. I think the stage is where the question is. And maybe that's why there's a bit of concern within the dressing room or within the players that he's been playing. The only thing I am concerned about Cardoso here is when he puts in Usales, I don't know what he's trying to get out of him. Where I guess watching the City game last night gave me a thought in saying maybe if Ahly should employ a low block, maybe wing play and using more creative players that can unlock those pockets from the sides. Maybe that could be the edge that they need. But I don't.
But
think
then,
they
but I
should
want to
change
ask, aren't we underestimating Ahly? I mean, they're what, 12, 13-time champions. They won it last season. They've got experience in doing this thing. Are we not underestimating them?
OT. Yeah, as good as your last game for me. So I understand that's what I'm saying. It's Ahly. They've won it before. They've been in this stage before. They've won it over what they have. They hold the record of winning this thing more than anyone. However, this fixture alone has given us enough information for me, especially when we look at how they're looking to set up. For example, quick question here, or to answer your question, we need to look at where is Ahly bound to hurt Downs, apart from the mistakes that they might make at the back, depending on who they're going to put on the field. But if Downs rectifies those mistakes, and for me, I'm expecting Cardoso to pick up on those things, or his technical team rather. If they do it, or the execution is quite right, Downs stand a good chance of creating a chance or two, and Ahly has to reply by what? Crosses, set pieces, corners. And those ones, they may take a bit of time to come. So I'm not underestimating, but I'm just looking at this fixture alone, which team is bound to get a goal or two, or even a goal that's going to be enough to advance to the final. Understanding, yes, Ahly in the past has found ways of going to the final, but they haven't played Sundowns in the series, for me. So maybe it's by the South African in me that still wishes a South African final, and it is giving these guys the confidence. But I don't think we should write Sundowns out as yet, as their own fans are doing. That's why they want the coach out and all these things. But I still feel there's more in the tech. That's my opinion. There's still more in the tech. I think there's more information we can collect from this game.
Okay. No, for time, I'm going to jump in. I just want to see something. And then just make sure of something. I'm bringing Agent back. Agent, are you back on?
I'm back, but you are black. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's going on, but then just give me, can you moderate for me quickly? Guys, it's raining, my laundry, I just need 5 minutes. Can you just hold it for me?
Am I in though?
Yeah, you're in. Gotcha, you can hear him, ne?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Okay, sure.
Okay, gents, I'll be back just now.
Okay. Machine, I think you can finish your point, or you done, my brother.
I think
No. I just didn't. I thought he had a question. Yeah, but just to wrap it up, when an agent, the only thing I'm just saying from my side, we know, we understand, we've seen how North Africans work. If Downs really executed the way we know how these North Africans are able to score, where they are going to hurt you, and I think ball rotation needs to be quicker. It's nice to play in front of them and do all these things. Take shots when you are supposed to, play the game, execute the plan, use wing play if you have to. Because I feel Sundowns has a better chance of creating more. They create more chances. In the game that they played, the situation was they were waiting for mistakes to happen, and that's why it looks like, for me, it doesn't look, but obviously on paper it says Ahly created more chances than Sundowns. They can't take care of the ball as much as Sundowns has because they've mastered the game. So I feel that game model would be enough to win the final.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think Leonard.
yes. Ngosha, your 5 minutes does now. I'm kind of running blind, so I don't know the timer there. So I'll start my time on this side. So yeah, thank you.
No problem. The first reality we have to check is what type of Ahly are we facing now? I'm a Chiefs fan, but when I say we, I'm representing the South African teams. What type of Ahly is this? They've had a bad season. They're having a bad season at the moment. They are not convincing at any points that they were good at last season in terms of crosses and set pieces. This whole season, they were not doing that, even throughout this whole campaign, and they made it here. So this is the type of Ahly Rulani wished he was playing against last season, because he was going to beat this type of Ahly. No, but they wouldn't have had a way of bouncing back. Yeah, but right now that Sundowns have deployed an understanding of being able to manage themselves defensively, they are much stronger than they were last year. Their ability to attack is not even a point of discussion at the moment. The most important place is when they're faced with a desperate Ahly, maybe on the 70-something minute, when Ahly is throwing everything at them, no matter how unprecise that would be, Sundowns need to be able to manage that. And I think from the season that the Sundowns has had, they'll be able to manage it defensively because they're stronger defensively than they have been before, right? And because of that, I think that Sundowns will manage a way to find a couple of counter attack, maybe by Morena on the side there, Shalulile, something can be created going forward, and they will score. Maybe not even just one goal only, because Ahly would have placed pressure on themselves to say, let's get them, and they won't be able to get them because first, when they try to do that in the first 10 minutes, that won't happen. They won't find a space for that. Only in the 70-something minutes would the game start opening for Ahly to try to attack Sundowns properly. Because Sundowns now will say, okay, now we've got we've got less than 20 minutes to push. Let's push. Yeah, but
Okay. Are you back with you?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, sure. Yes.
I wanted to ask you, Gotcha. So, as you say, this Ahly hasn't been convincing. They're, I believe, number 2 in their league. Wouldn't that give them more impetus to want to go and win this game as something of a last chance for them to gain something from this game?
That pressure on its own makes them panic and vulnerable. That's when Sundowns will find opportunities to get them. That's why when they got here, they made sure that, you know what, we're going to be very defensive and we're going to attack. They attacked. How many times they attacked? They could have scored clear goals, easier goals, but they didn't, because they are not as prepared as a normal Ahly would be at the stage. Yeah, well. So
then with the
virtue of that.
Yeah.
By the virtue of that, they will be fine short when it comes to let's finish the game, let's win it at home with all that pressure.
Then with Sundowns, isn't there a pressure on the team that this is the hurdle that they usually fall on, number one. And then number two, you have a Cardoso who might be thinking that, you know, there was a guy who went invincible in the league. There was a guy who lost some cup finals just last season, and the team seemed to allegedly fire him because of the Champions League. Does Cardoso have pressure? Does Sundowns have pressure? How does that play into this part as well on their side?
Cardoso's pressure has made Cardoso more defensive. He's not changed his way of playing just because he has had pressure. Because he knows that that's what he was brought in for defense stuff. That's what's going to win him that game. He doesn't mind going to the game 0-0 until the end of the game and then only push an extra time to try to score a winning goal. That's that's the mentality they brought him for. Because Sundowns didn't have that patience before because of their attacking ability. They didn't have that patience to say, okay, if we're not scoring, don't worry, we're going to continue until the 120th minute or the 115th minute.
Okay, gotcha. For time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Poisa. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, OT, how's it?
Man, I'm good, my brother. I'm good. Sundowns versus Ahly. How do you see it in Cairo?
I think, from my side, Sundowns is playing good football. Just this season, they are more cautious. 8 years in a row, Champions League, always attacking. Because they see it doesn't work just to attack only. That's why you must be cautious with, let's say, Obas and Mokwena at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, from what I'm seeing, it's advantage Sundowns because if you score 1, they must score 2. If you score 2, they must score 3. And Sundowns is capable. Just umshishu ubuye ngesikhathi and you see ukuthi okay, sharp, this coming Friday bakaqala kayena tsebo.
Okay.
Then Ribeiro back to reset on the right hand side. Cut in, take your shots. And Ribeiro needs coaching. Don't overcarry ball. Just make sure if they are on the right, switch it fast to the left.
Mara, how can you mshishi? How changing to a Sundowns and a for the whole season? Would you want to do it now?
Just spice it up. Mshishi is more seasoned. And Mshishi, you can rely on him. It's either you umupa first half or second half. Just Mshishi magangena, let's play ibola la Mshishi. 1-2, 1-2, shikabala, And surprise, we are shy going out of the box. I get about Sheba Mshisha hole.
Yeah.
Then Mshishanza Shapadi 1-2, 1-2, lay off. Waraya come Queen. For me, Ukadosa Bamnigas is cut. I'm a Pirates fan. Give Kadoso time. Into yenzile ku Esperance. That's the exact thing. Ayenzile ku Sundowns manje. Ukuthi just bekashintsha ama benches. Ukuthi I want to go to the final and I know how to go to the final. I know how to get there.
Yeah.
Sundowns ifuna ama results manje. This is how we are South Africans. We want results now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we are used to our noisy neighbors. That's why they are not building a guy. No, saying yeah, sure. You must not get results now.
Okay.
Yes, when you are building, we ask for future purposes. Okay, this season, get you miss the top 2. That's how you go. That's how you get into the room. How did they get into the room? You must be number 1 and number 2. And at the moment, we can't. It's the best 2 teams that we can give Africa.
Okay.
And number 3, like the past 2 seasons, which is Stellenbosch, is also doing great that side.
So can I ask? Do you think that just for the last minute here, do you think that this can be repeated? Do we ever see something like this? Next season, Rivero's gone. Cardoso's going to go into his second season, hopefully for him. Do you see this ever happening again? Can we take advantage of this dominance that we've had?
This generation, I think it's a generational thing. Because if you can check, Manje, we are in almost a golden generation that we can compare to that one about 1996, that one about 2000, where South Africa, Bafana used to go to semi-finals or CAF. This is what is happening now. You see, it's a generational thing. If we can take care of this generation, I can see next year it's either A1 is both of them, they're gonna get into the group stages. To survive in the group stages, you must play an ugly football.
Yeah.
And sorry, OT, like Paula via Orlando Pirates one.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Okay, sharp. Pyramid is not in a good run of form. It's playing well, but it's not in a good run of form. 4 games, no win, just draws. Pirates still invincible. And if one goal, and if Pyramid can score first, it's gonna make sure that Pirates is going all over them. Pirates, when it attacks,
Okay. For time, I'm gonna jump in.
For Friday, sharp.
I'm gonna jump in. Let me bring loose test. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Mr. OT.
Mangimnandi test. Ahly Sundowns. Uthini ngayo?
Mr. OT, I think it's going to be a difficult game for Sundowns, especially since the game is a Cairo.
Yeah.
Because history, it's not favoring Sundowns. For the past 5 or 4 seasons, Maba reached a stage. If Bengashangi goal first leg, they went on to lose the tie. So I think something special which is into this season. I think futhi starting 11 Ukado also should start Reyners and put Ushalulile with bench. Because I understand ukuthi yini le yenziwe Reyners ukuthi ahlale benchini for isikhathi esingaka. Ushalulile kwesinye isikhathi akasiniki lutho nje. So makungenzeka aqale Reyners, I think ushintsho lingaba khona, and also put Matthews, because I still believe with the combination yaka coach Manqoba could still work, where we have Ribeiro, Reyners and Matthews.
RMR.
I still believe ukuthi ingasebenza, Mr. OT, but okungithusayo futhi ilento yenziwe i-Ahly when igame iphela, because ngibone abo Marcel Cole abajabule kakhulu, meaning they believe ukuthi eCairo they can beat Mamelodi Sundowns. They were all smiles, bebangabukeki njengabantu aba-worried ukuthi no man, le team ingafika ngale ishaye igoli bese iphaka ibhasi, yabo. And uMarcel Koller is under pressure because he knows ukuthi uma engadliwa lapha he is going to get sacked. Izomxosha Ahly.
Yeah.
I think Ukado also should go into that game esho naye ukuthi ufuna ukuthola igoli, angayi all defensive, because if uzodlala kanjalo siyoba nenkinga. And kulama game engiwabukelile we-Sundowns lawa ngibona ngathi uma kungaza kole zinto ezokudefenda kunenkinga, yabo. So ngi-expect igame emnandi nje Friday.
So then, ukhulume ngoMarcel Koller. Do you think Cardoso is under the same type of pressure ko Sundowns?
Yeah, I think under the same type of pressure, Mr. OT, because uyazi indlela angene ngayo kulo msebenzi. If uRulani was not, angazi ngingathini, he was not fired, ngoba buya kanjalo naye uyazi ukuthi ubengeka uthole lo msebenzi. Even ucoach Manqoba ukuze ahambe, it's because he was not performing well kule CAF Champions League eyifunayo iSundowns. So if he goes on to lose kule game ye-Ahly, I think uyazi naye ukuthi uzobizwa ebakhulume naye. It's unlikely to see him back kule season elandelayo if he loses in the semi-final le ezodlalwa Friday.
Okay, no, Ste, thank you so much. Wait, Ste, before you go, what are you doing, Umshish?
I think Umshish should come in the second half around after an hour or so. Because I don't think it enough with angadlala 1 hour 30 minutes, 90 minutes yonke. Because also ngicabanga ukuthi ukungena kwakhe kuzophazamisa umsebenzi obusowenziwe uRibeiro. I know people are criticizing uRibeiro, but ngiyacabanga ukuthi ukufaka umshishi kuzodala inkinga futhi because kule right hand side uRibeiro ubengaperform ngale ndlela performa ngayo kule season. Last season he played kule right hand side. Yes, he was getting some goals, but he was not performing at his optimal best njengoba enza kule season. So around the 60th minute ukuze nje asinike okunye different if siyabona ukuthi game ayindawo.
Okay. For time's I'm gonna jump in. Thank you to everybody that joined the panels. Thank you so much, guys, for the show. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. If I can just put my thoughts out here. Pyramids versus Pirates is going to be very interesting because both teams are essentially newcomers to the Champions League. And I know Pirates has previous experience, but I mean, in the last few years, both of the teams have been newcomers. I think where Pirates, for me, may have a bit of an advantage over Pyramids is that Pirates has been playing a lot of games of consequence under Coach Jose Rivero. So I don't think nerves will be that much of an issue for Pirates. Where I do see a little bit of a problem for Pirates is that, yes, we're speaking about goals. We're speaking about Pirates maybe being more dangerous. But the thing is, who's going to score? Because Pirates, outside of people putting up their hands about Lamini scoring random goals, they haven't been going well that much up front. And especially if you're going to play the back three, back five, you're going to obviously have transition times. And Mfukeng hasn't looked so good in those type of transitions where Pirates wins the ball back, they play it up, he usually gets swallowed. So that's going to be interesting to see how they work that out. But where Pirates might have the upper hand as well is that they are the away team. And what's interesting about the CAF Champions League is not necessarily that you have to go out and go and get the first goal. Bang early, go and get the first goal and do those things. The CAF Champions League sometimes just comes down to keeping it 0-0 up until you get to your 60th, 65th minute, where the other team starts feeling the pressure. Because Pyramids is at home, at some point they're going to feel pressure and they're going to have to go forward. And if you look at the game that Pirates played versus Sierra Peluisdad, things like that, it opened up a little bit more to allow Pirates to be able to take advantage of those openings on transition. Instead of getting a set defense, they were starting to get 1v1s, they were starting to get 3v2s, 2v3s, and I think that can work out. So I would think that Pirates is going to go out to try and frustrate Pyramids for as long as possible. Now, obviously, Pyramids going forward is a little bit strong, so that's going to be a bit of a test for Abom Bogazi, but up to this point, they have been up to it. So we'll see what's going to happen in that game. When it comes to Mamelodi Sundowns versus Ahly, it's such an interesting game. It's such an interesting game because both teams have pressures that are similar in a way. I think Cardoso is facing a team that knocked him out last year as the AS Tunis coach, last season as the AS Tunis coach. He's coming into a semi-final where you know that Sundowns usually gets knocked out in the semi-finals. He's coming into a thing where he knows that the last guy got fired because of the Champions League and it wouldn't be that hard to get rid of him if he doesn't win it. So there is a little bit of that pressure that he's walking into this game with. But also on the other side, as we've mentioned, Marcel Koller is having a very tough time at Ahly right now. They're probably not going to win the league. I'm not sure what the Egyptian Cup looks like, but they might finish the season without a trophy if they get knocked out by Mamelodi Sundowns. So the last thing that Ahly wants to do is to get beaten by Mamelodi Sundowns that side. What's going to be interesting is going to be the two approaches from the coaches. Because on the one hand, you have Ahly, who are comfortable with this. They're comfortable with going away and going 0-0. They're comfortable with coming back home. I think they've earned and developed the trust in believing that, you know what, even if it takes us up until the 87th minute, we're going to get the one goal at home and we're going to go through. But of course, they are struggling a little bit. When it comes to Sundowns, they've looked good this season. They've looked good at times this season. Coming towards the end of the season, I think they've been struggling a little bit in terms of goals, but they've had the control of games. Now, the problem becomes you've had control of games and you haven't been able to win these things. Can you use that control, the possession, the passing, to get the goal that you need? Or do you also need to come out and play, a typical African CAF Champions League game and just sit and you guys look at each other for 85 minutes and somebody makes a mistake, which is the bread and butter Al Ahly. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Mamelodi Sundowns is going to approach that game as well. Again, I think, as with all CAF games, it's going to be boring. And boring is good. The moment you start to wind up, that's when you get beaten. That's when you make a mistake and one slip, Mvala or Shapa on goal. One slip, yes, Tunis scores, then they score again. So I think both teams, and as much as people are not going to like it, just sit and look at each other in the eyes. I know, it's not even tactical, boring. Just sit and look each other in the eyes and wait for whoever makes the mistake, because if it's a mistake for either Pirates or Sundowns, it's an away goal. So guys, for me, that is it for me. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for those who have sent gifts. Thank you to those that liked. Thank you to those who joined the panel. Shout out to those watching on YouTube as well, guys. Please like, share, subscribe, and do all of those very nice things. Also, kupalenko Instagram, guys. Instagram yaka ya teka kupaleka that side, and please like it, Overthinking Football Show. Please follow the account, because when brands come knocking, they look at those things. They look at those things, and then hey, they look at everything. So please, if you can help me on that side. And also, guys, if you see a brand thing, if you see a logo on my page, on a video, like that video, comment on the video, share the video, even if you like it 700 times. Those are the things that you can help us content creators with the most, so that I can go back to the brands and say, guys, these are the numbers that I've gotten. So currently there's a Lays one, there's an Absa one there. So please, like them. There's a Sporty TV one. Go and like these things so that we can get some money. I'm not going to be in tomorrow. I will be back on Friday. Friday, we're going to do the watch along. So for those who are new, watch alongs are going to be the exact same. Watch alongs are going to be, we're going to watch both games. You'll be able to jump in and analyze with me. We'll sit down, we'll have all of that stuff. So please join me there. The link is in my bio. But if you don't find it, my Instagram is Overthinking Football Show. So Facebook and Instagram are Overthinking Football Show, as well as YouTube. So if you could just go and subscribe and like and do all of those really nice things there, that would be great. Anyway, guys, Kitla Libona on Friday. Bye, everyone.